Look, this is something I wanted to say in regards to just 2 minutes ago. What I've noticed is when you talk to tailors, one of the most frequently things they say is, it's good to be open-minded because everyone has a trick or two to teach you. And so why not know 3 ways of doing something, or why not learn this and why not learn that? And I completely agree with that. Here is the funny part. And this is where I think things could be better from a company perspective, like just for companies in general. If so many artisans like to learn more techniques, and the reason why they want to learn more techniques is perhaps improve their work or speed their efficiency or improve that, why is it so that so few tailoring companies systematize the research into new techniques and efficiencies, so that and the artisans have more dialogue amongst themselves, in a way that when you teach me something and I learn something from you, if that's better, I can just, as a company, adopt that and say, okay, this is the best version of what we have done so far, for example, on this part. And then if anyone can improve on that, then we just adopt that. And then we continue the cycle. So, and you incentivize that. Why do you think that doesn't happen that often? Because you have all individual artisans. They all have their things, even within the same company, right? Each artisan just slightly does it differently. And then if one of them improves on something, it's not necessarily so that everyone takes that on board. It's not formalized. It's just like, oh, I found a clever way of doing pockets so that they don't fray, for example. And then that person finds out about it, and then the company doesn't take that on board and spread it across all the artisans. And so innovation really becomes a very slow process. It becomes like so slow that 20 people reinvent the same wheel, and then 10 years after that, someone says, look, there is a solution to that problem. You know what I mean? Or am I being silly?
Well, okay. I think our biggest problem is there's no governing body or no governing institution of education within tailoring. We lost the Tailor and Cutter Academy. And as soon as we said bye-bye to that was it. You leave yourself open to mysticism and to unscientific conclusion. I did something once, it worked, I'm going to do it forever. Like that kind of thing that we've always sort of tried to steer away from. That's the main reason. And it's now been reduced to being done by the houses themselves, who like, no, it should be done by an independent sort of body of people who are well versed in the art of making garments. What can you do? You can't do anything about it. That's the way things are, and also with coat makers now working less and less in house, and there being less of this sort of collective spirit. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but there being less of a collective spirit within houses, it means that you can't enforce anything. Had Joe said to you, for instance, Reza, I think making our jets like this would be better from now on, and you disagreed with him, how would he have, implemented that technique on you without you then actually doing it your own way? You couldn't have. There's no one behind you watching, QCing your work if you disagree with it. So again, no QC, no sectional system.
Do you think it's good if companies have sectional systems more often? Do you see that as a good thing?
I mean, good and bad, right? It's bad for probably the employee. A bit of a Charlie Chaplin moment, like you can't stop doing the same thing. And also makes it more interesting for the market to have individuals making. And the only way for our market to survive nowadays is for that to be the case. So, yeah, I see things progressing as they should.